So the timer has actually many modes of operation. We discussed about mode 1, mode 2 modes of operation of timers, uh, T0 and T1. So next application is as a counter. So the timers can also be used as counters to count the events happening outside the 8051. So that is the main difference between a timer and a counter. So counter counts the events which happens outside the 8051. So when it's acting as a counter, it is a pulse outside of the 8051 that increments the TH and TL register. So an external pulse that is external to 8051 that will make the TH and TL to increment. So that is a counter, and T mode and THTL are the same as in the case of the timer in mode 1 and mode 2. So the programming is almost the same. The only difference is that the in the case of timer, the frequency which we use is the oscillator frequency 11.0592 megahertz. So in this case, the external pulse that will have a frequency, and that frequency will determine the time delay, etc. So the frequency will be different in the case of a counter because the external pulse has a role in it, and in the case of timer, the frequency will be the internal crystal frequency. So how do we determine whether what is the mode of operation, that is whether it is acting as a counter or a timer? It will be the C bar T bit of the T mode register that will decide whether it is uh, acting as a timer or a counter. So if the C bar T value is 0, it is acting as a timer, and if it's 1, it will be acting as a counter. So when the C bar T value becomes equal to 1, then the external pulse will give the frequency. So C bar T equal to 1, the timer is used as a counter and it gets the pulses from outside 8051. The counter will count up as the pulses are fed from pin 14 and 15. So that is where you get the external pulse from. So the external pulse should be connected to pin 14 and 15. And these pins are called the T0 and T1 input. Okay, so if you are using the timer 0, then the external pulse should be given to 14, and if you are using timer 1, then the external pulse should be given to 15. So 14 will be for T0 and 15 will be for T1. So actually that is P34 and P35. So that is the port 3, 4th and 5th pins are used for this particular purpose. What is the purpose? To make this as a counter. So when you make it as a counter, what is happening? It will count the external clock pulses. And depending on the external clock pulses, the TH and TL value will increment. Whereas in the case of timer, the internal clock pulse, which is generated by the oscillator, that will give the that will make the TH and TL value to increment. That is when the output of that AND gate, you have a clock there, then the TH and TL value will increment depending on the mode of operation. But in this particular case, if C bar T value is equal to 1, then it's a counter. And if it's a counter, then uh, what is seen is not the internal clock pulse but the external clock pulse. So where do you give the external clock pulse? If you are using the timer 1, then the 15th pin, and if you are using the timer 0, then you are using the 14th pin. So that is the use of port 3, 4 and 5 bits. So let's see a question. So assuming that clock pulses are fed into pin T1, pin T1 means that will be 15, pin number 15. Pin number 15 means what? Pin number 15 is the 15th pin of 8051, that particular IC. Okay. So write a program for counter 1 in mode 2 to count the pulses and display the state of TL1 count on P2, which connects 8 LEDs. So there are many informations in this. So assuming that the clock pulses are fed into pin T1, so that will tell you that it is acting as a counter. Otherwise, you needn't say where the clock pulses are given or anything like that. In the case of timer, you won't get such a statement. So assuming that clock pulses are fed to pin T1, so 15th pin that gets the clock pulses. So T1 is the timer which we are using. So counter 1, T1, so counter 1. And what is the mode of operation? It is mode 2. So uh, here we can decide on each of the bits of T mode. What should be moved into T mode? So in T mode you have gate, you have a C bar T, you have M1, M0. So mode 2 means M1, M0 will be 1, 0. C bar T equal to 1 in the case of a counter. Then to count the pulses and display the state of TL1. So mode 2 means TL value will be incremented, because in mode 2 TH value will be loaded, but then that will be auto copied into TL1, and that only will be incremented. TL1 will be incremented after each clock pulse. So the state of TL1 count on P2, that should be given to P2. P2 we know is 8 bits long, and there are 8 LEDs connected to these 8 bits of P2 port 2. Okay, so that LEDs will be on and off depending on the value on TL1. Okay, so let's see the program. So we said from the question itself, we can know what is the value in T mode. So T mode, we know gate we are giving 0 itself. C bar T is 1. Mode is 2, so 1, 0. So 0, 1, 1, 0. And we are using timer 1. That is why we are putting 1, 0 in the upper order M1, M0. And timer 0 we are not using. So all the whole nibble of the lower order nibble will be 0. Okay, so this we are writing it as B because this is written in binary. You can also write it in hex. What will this be in hex? This will be 60H. So you can write it in binary or hex, whatever, no issues. So T mode value you know. So TH1, the initially loaded value, nothing is given here. So TH1 is loaded with 0. So we are going to load it or clear the TH1. So that 0 will be loaded into TL1 also, like in the mode 2 programming. So set B 3.5. Why set B 3.5? Why are we setting 3.5? Because that 3.5 is the 15th pin, and that should act as the input to the, or the clock pulses will be given there. So that should be acting as a input. So the input is the clock pulses. Then rest is like any mode 2 programming. You have to set the TR1. Only difference is that input to the AND gate. You have two inputs to the AND gate. One is the TR1 and the other one is the clock. In the case of timer, the clock was coming from the crystal. Here the clock is coming from the outside, from external pin, which is P35. So P35 we have made it to input. So you can just apply a clock there. You can connect a oscillator there. So that will take as the input. So when you set TR1, that AND gate will become active. That output will come to the output of the AND gate. The clock will come to the output of the AND gate. And just like in the normal mode 2 programming, which we discussed in timer, the same process will happen. So here we are moving the TL1 to the accumulator and accumulator to P2. Why? Because in this question we have written, the question is display the state of TL1 to P2. So TL1 value should go to P2. So how you can't just transfer TL1 value to P2 directly. So that's why you're moving the value of TL1 to accumulator and then accumulator to P2. So that is the only program here. Rest of the program is same as in the case of mode 2 programming. Jump if no bit to TF1. So 0, TH1, this will count from, sorry, TL1 will count from 00 to FF. When it goes from FF to 00, the TF1 will be set to 1. So until then, this process will continue. That is the incrementing, the change in value in TL1 will go to accumulator and from the accumulator to the P2, and you have 8 LEDs connected to P2. So from 0 to FF, the LEDs will blink. The 8 LEDs will count from 00 to FF. Right? So then you'll clear both and then the process will continue. Since this is auto reload mode, you needn't load it with the initial 0 value again, because a copy will be there in TH1 and it will be auto reloaded to TL1 after the first pass. So that is counter programming in mode 2. So the basic, everything is the same. Mode 1, mode 2 programming is the same. The programming side is the same in the case of timer and counter. Only difference is from where you get the input. Where you get the input means what? Where you get the clock pulse from. So the clock pulse is either the internal clock pulse of the crystal oscillator or an external clock pulse which you apply to 14 or 15th pin depending on the timer you're using, which is timer 0 or timer 1. Yes. So that is one question. So this was timer in mode 1. We have already discussed this. This is timer in mode 2. This also we have discussed. So only the difference is that if this is made equal to counter, then this will be from pin 14 or 15. In the case of timer, that will be from the crystal oscillator. In the case of counter, this will be from pin 14 or 15. So this is not actually timer, this is counters. So next you have TCON or the timer control register. So we have discussed T mode. Now it is the TCON. So TCON is 8-bit register. So while discussing about mode 1 and mode 2 programming in timer or counter mode, we talked about many bits, which is TF0, TF1, TR0, TR1. So those bits, when you set or clear in the program, what is actually happening? Those bits are actually bits of the register called the T-count register or the timer control register. So you have the higher order bit, the MSB as TF1, then TR1, TF0, TR0. So you know these 4 bits what it's used for. So these are the timer flags for TF0 and TF1 are the timer flags for timer 0 and timer 1. TR0 and TR1 are the that input when you want to start the timer. So you do it by setting the TR0 or TR1 depending on whether you're using timer 0 or timer 1. Then you have some other bits also which we'll be seeing now. So upper 4 bits we know. Lower 4 bits are for controlling the interrupt bits. Okay, so when you talk about interrupts, we can know what is IE1, IT1, IE0 and IT0. So those are for interrupts. So it's a bit addressable register, just like the port registers or the accumulator. You can bit address the TCON register. So you can say set B TR0. So instead of that, you can also write it as set B TCON.4. So both are the same thing will happen. So only thing is that you should know which bit is what. Only then you can write like that. So if you're not quite sure about that, then you can just write it with the names. It is bit addressable. Next, till now we have seen the gate as equal to 0 in all the cases of timer and counter. So next is if gate is equal to 1. So what happens if gate is equal to 1? The start and stop of the timer are done externally through the pins P32 and P33. So P32 and P33 will externally control the start and stop of the timer, not using a software instruction. So how did we start and stop the timer till now? By setting TR0 or TR1 or clearing TR0 and TR1, we were stopping and starting the timer. Now, if gate is equal to 1, that is the case in gate equal to 0. So if gate is equal to 1, this particular thing cannot be controlled using an instruction set TR0 or TR1 or clear TR0 or TR1. But it will be done through the external pins. So this is the setup for that. So this is C bar T equal to 0 and C bar T equal to 1, that setup. So C bar T equal to 0 means it will be connected to the crystal oscillator. If C bar T is equal to 1, this switch will be connected here to 14 or 15th pin, depending on which timer you are using, timer 0 or timer 1. Then this is for gate. So here you have gate equal to 0 means the output of the AND gate, NOT gate will be 1. So that this OR gate will be 1. So depending on the value of TR, the AND gate output will be 1. So that the switch will be closed. So the timer will start to count. So that is the normal case till now. So till now, how did we make the timer to count up? By making TR equal to 1. So TR equal to 1, when TR equal to 1, this AND gate should work means this should be 1. So for this particular input to be 1, one way is by making gate equal to 0. If gate is equal to 0, irrespective of what is happening here in P3, pin 32 or 33, the output of the OR gate will be 1 and the timer will start to count up. So if gate is equal to 1, then this input of the OR gate will be 0. So the output of the OR gate will depend on the pin 32 or 33. So what is pin 32 or 33? That is the external control over the setting of the or the starting the timer or stopping the timer. So that is the external input which will start or stop the counter. So that won't depend on TR but on this particular input when gate is equal to 1. So write an 8051C program to toggle all the bits of port P1. We know that can be done by moving P1 equal to 55H and P1 equal to AAH. So that is the only instructions in for the toggling of the bits of P1 with some delay in between. So you have to write a delay, use timer 0, 16-bit mode to generate the delay. So forever P1 is given 55 and P1 is given AA. In between we have introduced a delay. That delay we have mentioned here, and this delay you have to write as a subroutine. So in the subroutine we are doing it using a timer. So use timer 0, 16-bit mode. 16-bit mode is what? 16-bit mode is mode 1. So timer 0 mode 1 means 01H. So T mode will be given 01H. TL0 will be loaded with 00 and TH0 is given the value 35. So it is 3500. So nothing is given here. That value is just to give a delay. Okay, so whatever delay you want to give, you can give here. So the initial value loaded into timer 0 here is 3500H. Then you have set B TR0, just like you give set B TR0. Here we have moved 1 to TR0. TR0, that bit is made equal to 1 in the T count register. Then when TF0 equal to 0, that is jump if no bit, that for that particular loop. So this is clear TR0 and clear TF0. So same program, same ALP we have written using C. So write a C program to toggle bit only P15 continuously every 50 millisecond. Use timer 0 mode 1 to create the delay. Okay. So we need a delay program as subroutine. We want to toggle P15. So, and we are using the C program. So delay you have to say here, and since we are using a single bit, you can write it as S bit and give a name, and that is defined as P15. Forever it should be toggled. So just like you'll write CPL P15 in the assembly language program, since it's C program, we are inverting it. Okay, not gate. That you're giving a logical instruction, not. So my bit equal to not of my bit. So that is just equivalent to CPL P15. Then a delay is called. So it will go to the delay program and then it will return here likewise. So what is the delay program? Delay program, you need to know what is the T mode. So in order to know T mode, here the hint is that it is timer 0 and mode 1. Timer 0, mode 1 is like in the earlier case 0, 1 is. So T mode gets the value 0, 1. Then initially load some value into TH and TL for the delay. Then set TR, so TR equal to 1. Then put a loop to check if TF0 is equal to 0. Then clear. So that will give the delay. So all these are the same. So all these are the same. No difference. You create a delay program and only the program, what the function of that program, only that is different. So that will be over in a single instruction. Rest is mode 0, sorry, mode 1 or mode 2. So just go through these